So, we're all getting used to AI chatbots, right? But what if you could build one that was trained just for you? One that learns only from information you choose, becoming an expert in your world. Today, we're diving into NotebookLM. And trust me, this is a tool that's really changing the game. It's not about just prompting an AI anymore, it's about building your own personal genius.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the problem that I think we all feel, just drowning in information. Then we'll see how NotebookLM steps in as your personal AI sidekick. We're going to look at some amazing ways to use it for business, for learning, and for creativity, before we pull back the curtain on the secret ingredient that makes this thing so powerful and honestly so trustworthy. You know, we live in this age of just endless information. And that sounds amazing, but let's be real, most days it just feels like we're trying to drink from a fire hose.
This right here, this quote, just nails it. The most important bits of knowledge we have aren't neatly filed away. Nope. They're scattered everywhere, in reports, random articles we saved, notes from a meeting, you name it. And trying to connect all those dots by yourself, it's slow, it's frustrating, and you always feel like you're missing something.
So this is the big question, isn't it? What if you had an AI that didn't know about everything on the internet, but instead knew everything about your specific project, your research, your company? An expert that you personally trained on materials you already know are reliable. And that right there brings us to the tool itself. So let's break down what NotebookLM actually is and what makes it so dang special. Okay, so at its core, NotebookLM is a research tool from Google. But, and this is the most important part, it doesn't go fishing for answers in the giant, messy ocean of the internet. Its entire world, its entire knowledge base is built from the documents, the websites, the notes that you give it. It's grounded in your truth. So that's the idea, but how does it actually work in the real world? Let's check out some super powerful ways you can use this to go from a pile of data to making some really sharp decisions. Here's a brilliant example for anyone in marketing. Imagine you need to come up with a great ad. Instead of just guessing and hoping for the best, you could use NotebookLM to literally build a blueprint for what works. The process is actually super simple, but so effective. You go find a bunch of successful ads in your field, the ones that have been running forever, so you know they're making money. You copy-paste all that text into NotebookLM, and then you just ask it a simple question. What do all these winning ads have in common? It'll instantly scan everything and lay out the secret sauce for you. The kind of hooks they use, how they talk to their audience, the structure of their pitch. You've just reverse engineered a successful campaign. Now check this out. Let's say you just finished writing your business plan. Sure, you could ask a general AI for feedback. But what if you could get advice from, say, one of the best business books ever written? Here, we just upload our business plan, and right next to it, a PDF of the classic book, The E-Myth Revisited. And here's where it gets really cool. You can ask NotebookLM, based on the ideas in this book, how can I make my business plan better? It doesn't give you generic fluff. It actually takes the core wisdom from that book and applies it directly to your plan, telling you to think of your business like a franchise prototype or to define your primary aim. You've basically turned that book into your own personal business coach. And believe me, this isn't just a neat party trick. When you apply this in a professional setting, the speed and efficiency gains are, well, they're pretty staggering. This stat comes from a research paper about the biotech industry, a super complex world. Figuring out the competition for a new drug is incredibly detailed work. Normally, it takes analysts about 2.5 days. But by using an AI built on these same source-grounded principles, they got it done in just 3 hours. That's a 20 times increase in productivity. Just wow. Okay, so it's a beast for business. But what about just learning stuff? For students, researchers, or anyone who just wants to get up to speed on a complex topic, this thing is a powerhouse. And this really shows the depth of what we're talking about. It's not just for summarizing a few articles. That same research paper showed it being used in highly technical fields like oncology and immunology, places where staying on top of a mountain of dense information is literally a matter of life and death. Now, for what might be one of the most futuristic features. We learn best when we can ask questions and have a conversation, right? Not just by passively reading. Well, NotebookLM is making that a reality. Okay, get this. You can upload your sources. Let's say it's a really dense scientific paper. You ask NotebookLM to create an audio summary, basically a personalized podcast about it. But here's the wild part. While it's playing, you can hit join and just start talking to it.
You can interrupt and ask, hey, can you explain that concept more simply? Or who was the main person behind that study? And the AI host will pause, answer your question in real time, and then continue. You're literally having a conversation with your documents.
Let's talk about a problem I know every single one of us has. We save all this amazing content, articles, videos, posts, and then we completely lose track of it. Well, this is where NotebookLM becomes your secret weapon.
We all do it. You see a great post, a fascinating article, and you think, I'll save that for later. But later never happens. With NotebookLM, you can create a notebook called My Swipe File or something, and just dump everything in there. Then, when you're stuck for an idea for your newsletter, you can just ask it, what are some good hooks I can use based on what I saved this week? It instantly digs through your personal goldmine and brings back all the gems you'd totally forgotten about.
Okay, so we've seen all the cool things it can do, but now we have to talk about the why. Why does it work so well? Why is it so different from other AIs? This is the core idea that makes the whole thing a game changer. This right here is the key difference. A general chatbot, it's been trained on the whole internet, all the good, the bad, and the just plain wrong. So when you ask it something, it gives you what it thinks is a plausible answer. Sometimes it's just wrong, what we call a hallucination. NotebookLM is the complete opposite. Its world is tiny. Its world is only the documents you gave it. It can't make stuff up because its answers are grounded in your reality. And this feature, this is the ultimate proof. When NotebookLM gives you an answer, you'll see these little numbers next to its claims. Those are citations. You click one, and bam, it instantly highlights the exact sentence in your original document where it found that information. There's no mystery. You can check its work in a split second. This is exactly why people doing serious research or business analysis are saying it's an absolute must-have.
So you see, this changes how we should think about AI. You're not just a person throwing prompts at a generalist machine anymore. You're an architect. You're building a specialist, a focused expert that thinks and creates only within the world that you've designed for it.
So I'll just leave you with this thought to chew on. If you could build your own expert AI, your own little genius in a box, and teach it anything you wanted from sources you know and trust, what would be the very first thing you'd teach it?